Welcome to the Gadget 360 show. My name is Rajiv Makhni and the name of the show is Super Excitement. We have the LG Gram, a laptop that weighs under a kilogram, and boy, look at what else it has. 16-inch amazing display, excellent battery life, very powerful performance, and it's under a kg. Then the BenQ Mobiuz EX2710S gaming monitor. This is a 27-inch 1080p gaming monitor that literally gives it to you everything that you need. Ultra smooth gaming experience, HDR10 support, high dynamic range content, everything that you want. Gaming, multimedia, a 1 millisecond response for playing almost every game on earth. Then we move on to the TicWatch E3S, another smartwatch, but this is a mid-range one with a Qualcomm Snapdragon 4100 chipset. What does it make as a difference to the watch? What does it do? Well, we'll find out in our review. And from there, we'll jump on to home security, the Mi 360 home security camera. So obviously a security camera, but it's controlled entirely by the Mi Home app. What other features? Extremely sensitive is what we found it, with motion detection, which is the important thing for a security camera. Surprisingly sharp video feed from the camera at this price point. Infrared night vision works very well in rooms with almost no light at all. That and a whole lot more happening in our review. Let's get started with this week's super exciting Gadget 360 show. Our top story today is the LG Gram, an amazing laptop from LG. Now this promises to deliver performance and power while being super sleek, super thin and super light, weighs under a kilogram. Great tapered design. It's made out of magnesium, so it's absolutely solid. Matte black finish all around, very nicely done by LG. The material flexes a little, but you know, it's magnesium, so nothing's going to happen to it, and that light feeling comes from there. 16-inch 2K display, gets really bright, very detailed, full-size keyboard, big and smooth trackpad. We all really liked the LG Gram. Take a look.
The most attractive thing about a 13 or 14-inch laptop is how portable it is. It keeps the footprint of the laptop small, and a smaller footprint also leads to less weight. This comes at the cost of a few inches of the display, which is cut off. But what if portability did not come at the cost of a larger display? The product that we review today makes this possible. The LG Gram comes with a display measuring 16 inches and a weight that is less than even the lightest 13-inch laptop. It weighs under a kilo, but how well does it work? How good is the display? What's the performance like? Let's find out. The design of the laptop is responsible for the portability of the LG Gram despite the large display it has. It has a body made out of a magnesium alloy. While the material flexes around the laptop, the low weight of the laptop makes it worth it. Despite the large footprint of the laptop, picking it up is quite a startling experience because no one expects it to be this light. And despite how light it is certainly not fragile. LG claims that the Gram has passed enough durability tests to be proven much more durable than other laptops. In terms of looks, the design largely remains very simple and subtle. The top has a single Gram branding. The laptop tapers from the back to the front, with the front having a small dimple to lift the screen. The hinge is solid enough to feel like it and light enough to enable the laptop to be opened with a single finger. Once opened, the 16-inch display along with a full-size keyboard and a big trackpad welcome the user. The full-size keyboard has flat keys which have great travel and feel comfortable to type on. The trackpad is smooth and easy to use. It is also very clickable. Even though it is centered, it does not get in the way of typing as it does well with palm rejection. The top right corner of the keyboard has the power button, which doubles as a fast fingerprint scanner. Once pressed, it activates the second best thing about this laptop, its display. The 16-inch Quad HD display is amazing. It is sharp and gets very bright as well, and with the tall aspect ratio of 16:10, it is also tall. The large and tall size gives plenty of room to the user to enhance productivity. The colors are saturated, which makes watching content on this display a treat. But during some scenes of the content being played, the colors did appear to be a bit too saturated. While watching content, we suggest the user have their headphones within reach, as the speakers do not perform very well at all. They severely lack volume. With even a bit of noise in the room, the speakers are barely audible unless placed on a flat surface. How does it perform underneath all these peripherals? Smooth and fast. The LG Gram handles regular tasks as easily as it is to pick them up. Multiple tabs on Chrome, multiple apps running in the background, it's all easy for the 16 GB RAM to handle. Opening heavy files and apps at the same time is smooth for the 1 TB SSD, and performing all the tasks on these files and apps is made a breeze by the 11th Intel Evo i7 processor. And the only place that the laptop ends up struggling are the tasks that require a dedicated GPU, as the laptop does not have one and depends on the integrated Intel Xe graphics. While the performance is smooth, the battery life is also amazing. The laptop can easily last for 11 to 13 hours with regular tasks being performed. The laptop, once out of battery, is charged through a USB-C Thunderbolt 4 port. There are 2 such ports on the laptop, along with a full-sized HDMI port, 2 USB 3.2 Gen 1 ports, a headphone jack and a micro SD card slot, making an excellent port selection on the laptop. And there you have it, the LG Gram. A laptop that is powerful, efficient, fast, has a big display with a full-size keyboard, all while being extremely portable. It provides everything a user needs and more while weighing less than a kilo. And at a starting price of 82,499 rupees, it sure is pricey, but the premium will be worth it for the users who want a weightless yet powerful machine to do all their work.
Here's something all of us really enjoyed using at the Gadget 360 Lab, the BenQ Mobiuz EX2710S gaming monitor. Very feature-rich gaming monitor that aims to provide a premium experience but at a very, very low price. It's the biggest reason people don't buy a gaming monitor. It's got great design, thin bezels, subtle gaming aesthetics, nothing going overboard. There's nothing crazy about it, but it looks really good. Very well built, very sturdy, 27-inch screen, has a resolution of 1080p. Comes with a 144Hz refresh rate, enabling very high frame rate gaming and 1 millisecond of response time. So we really liked it. We'll tell you why.
Making a great gaming monitor is made possible when a few conditions are met. It needs to be sharp, it needs to be big, it needs to be smooth with its refresh rate, and it needs to be lightning fast with its response time. And pricing it right after meeting all of these conditions will be the bow on the perfect present for the gaming community. What we got our hands on does all of this and then some, and the name of the product is BenQ Mobiuz EX2710S. How does it manage to be the perfect present for gamers? What more does it provide apart from getting the basics right? Let's get you all the answers in the next few minutes. From the first time that you lay eyes on it, you see the great design that merges the gaming aesthetic with elegance. The monitor goes for straight and sharp lines all over with a matte black finish all around. It has 2 ridges making a cross on the back and a silver base with orange accents to subtly incorporate the details that gamers appreciate. The materials feel solid and the build feels sturdy. The display has extremely thin bezels all around. The monitor stand offers versatility by allowing the user to adjust the angle of the monitor. Beside the stand, there are 3 display input ports, 2 HDMI 2.0 ports, 1 display port along with a 3.5mm audio output port. Once the input is connected, the output shows up on a big 27-inch display, and what shows up sharp at the resolution of 1080p, and the display gets bright too with a maximum brightness of 400 nits. And every animation the user sees, every little transition looks extremely smooth, all because of the 144Hz refresh rate. And once the user gets used to the 144Hz of smoothness, it is impossible to go back. The display also comes with HDR10 certification, which adds more details to both the highlights and shadows, and it doesn't lag on color accuracy either, as it is 99% sRGB color accurate, which makes editing photos and videos easy. And the anti-glare coating over the display makes sure all the reflections of light are diffused. All of these specs and features combine to provide an amazing experience when it comes to gaming. The 27-inch bezel-less display makes every game more immersive. The 144Hz refresh rate makes everything in the games much more realistic, and with the HDR10 certification, the highlights and shadows in all games are much more detailed. And the 1 millisecond response time makes sure that the time difference between the press of a button and the subsequent action being reproduced in the game is next to nothing. And all of this comes to the user at a price of 24,990 rupees, forming the perfect little bow on the present. BenQ gets all the basics of a gaming monitor right, and on top of it they made a color accurate display with HDR10 certification, which makes creating and watching content an absolute treat on this display. And all of this earns it nothing but a strong recommendation from us.
Our next review is of the TicWatch E3. TicWatch seems to be doing lots of good stuff, but this is their mid-range smartwatch that aims to provide a premium and smooth experience to the user with very powerful internals. So it's made out of plastic all around, with the glass on the front curving at the edges into the watch casing. So looks pretty good for this price point. Circular display is very, very sharp, but has thick bezels around, which is something I think doesn't look so 2021. 16 GB of RAM and a Qualcomm Snapdragon 4100 chipset, same as the more expensive TicWatch Pro 3. This we really like. Heart rate sensor, blood oxygen sensor, pedometer, everything works well. We got pretty accurate results, which is very important in a smartwatch. Battery lasts for about a day, which is something that we didn't really like. I think smartwatches need to do much better than that. Let's take a look at everything else in the watch.
While most of the other Android's Wear OS based smartwatches seem to be lost with no clarity on software updates, marred by software issues, performance lags and bad battery life, Wear OS based smartwatches from Mobius have only gone from strength to strength. Mobius for their TicWatch series has not cared about the problems that come with Wear OS. Instead, they have made sure they make their watches in such a way that these problems do not overshadow how good their smartwatches are. Hence, we were excited to check out the TicWatch E3 to see whether it is built with the same ideals and if it is successful where most Wear OS based smartwatches fail. The TicWatch E3 is primarily meant to be a mid-range smartwatch, meant to perform well with powerful internals while keeping the price in check. So there will be some aspects where we see the mid-rangeness of it all. The design looks simple and minimalistic. Apart from the display, the entire casing is made out of black and grey plastic. Despite that, the build seems solid, although a bit too thick. The right side of the dial has two pushers with a mic in the middle. The watch also has slits for the speaker, which is there for taking calls from the watch and for listening to Google Assistant responses. The glass on the front curves into the plastic dial, and when the display switches on, the first sign of this being a mid-range watch comes into sight. The thick bezels all around the display. They do make the watch look dated, but the user will forget about them once they start using the watch. The display itself is very sharp. It gets bright enough for outdoor use as well. And the performance that shows up on the watch is nothing but smooth, slick and fast. The watch is powered by 1 GB of RAM and the Qualcomm Snapdragon 4100, which are the same internals as the more expensive TicWatch Pro 3. And that is the reason behind the clean performance. It is also the reason for the watch to be able to squeeze a lot of battery life out of the 380 mAh battery inside. The battery lasts for a day and a half with always-on display, 24-hour heart rate tracking and sleep tracking enabled. This is a lot better than most of the Wear OS based smartwatches, but still not enough and needs improvements. The battery life can be extended by a day with the essential modes, which just disables the user interface while keeping all the sensors on. And the sensors on board performs just as well as the internals of the watch does. The heart rate sensor, blood oxygen sensor, pedometer all work well and provide precise results. The TicWatch E3 has 20 different work modes as well. The watch can also automatically detect when the user has started working out, although it is limited to only walking, running or cycling. Sleep tracking works great on the watch. The results can be seen on the smartphone, though the Mobius app, which shows a detailed analysis of all the health data tracked by the watch. The same app can also be used to install watch faces on the watch. The user will need to do so as the default watch faces on the watch are just terrible. Now, given the fact that how Wear OS watches age, TicWatch E3 is expected to do better. It is confirmed to get the Wear OS 3.0 update, which is supposed to bring a lot of improvements to performance and battery life. But that update won't arrive till mid-2022. And at the price of Rs 20,999, the E3 certainly costs more than a lot of other smartwatches, which have a better build quality and a better design. But none of those watches will get the software support that the TicWatch E3 will get. And with everything this watch can do, it certainly lives up to the strong ideals of all the smartwatches from Mobius, and hence it earns a firm recommendation from us.
Let's take a quick break right now on the Gadgets 360 show. When we come back, lots more happening. Our next story is the Mi 360 home security camera. Now, this is a good thing. Lots of people keep asking us about this. Sturdy design, high quality polycarbonate body. Setup is very simple. Step-by-step process. The Mi Home app just takes you right through and you can set it up whichever way you like. Now, users can easily access the video feed, move the camera around, click a picture, even enable two-way talkback features enabled by the speaker and mic available on the camera. The users can also schedule physical lens blocking, which physically closes the shutter on the camera as and when the user needs their privacy. Again, this is a feature I wish more people were able to bring into their security cameras. It comes with motion detection. We really liked it. Very, very sensitive out there. Automatically records a 10-second clip which is stored in the cloud storage for a maximum of 7 days, so you can review it at any point. So we liked this one. Let's take a look at what else it has.
Security cameras have been getting smarter in the past few years. App-based operations, storage of footage directly to the cloud, motion detection, human detection, sending alerts to users in case of any movement, and a whole lot more. Unfortunately, this means a rise in prices as well. Well, the product that we're reviewing today does everything stated earlier and then some more, all while having an affordable price. This is the Mi 360 Home Security Camera 2K Pro. How well does it do? How far does the price limit it in its capabilities? You'll find the answers to everything in the next few minutes. The Mi 360 security camera looks simple. It is built strong and sturdy, and it is built to last. It comes in a white, high-quality polycarbonate cylindrical shell. The camera moves vertically and horizontally through a pill-shaped opening on the shell. Right underneath the lens is a micro SD card slot, and the back of it has a speaker and a micro USB port for power alongside a reset button. The bottom has rubberized grips that keep the camera in place. It can also be mounted on the wall or ceiling through the attachments that come in the box along with the camera. The camera is set up through the Mi Home app through a very simple step-by-step process. It takes less than 5 minutes to get it set up, and once it is set up, the user can control everything about the camera through the app itself. And since the camera supports both 2.4 GHz and 5 GHz Wi-Fi bands, the user can make sure the camera is connected to their speediest connection. The controls are pretty simple for the user to understand, as they should be. The directional pad controls the vertical and horizontal movement of the camera. There is a button to start recording a video on the camera to save it directly to the smartphone. There's also a button to switch on the two-way talkback feature, where the user can talk to a person near the camera, made possible by the speaker and the mic available on the camera itself. The user can also switch the camera on or off and set the resolution for the video feed right from the app. As for privacy, the user can schedule the camera shutter to block the camera whenever the user wants to. The quality of the footage that the user sees in the live feed is surprisingly excellent. It gets sharp and does well with varying amounts of light. The 3-megapixel camera records the footage in a sharp 2K resolution, and when the lights are turned off, the infrared night vision does well to show what is happening around the camera, even when there's no light in the room. And if anything happens or moves around the camera, it detects it. But it gets sensitive, really sensitive, enough to send the user notifications of every slight movement around the camera through the Mi Home app. Hence, this sensitivity should be and can be controlled. But the detection that does not work well is when it comes to humans, as the camera struggles with finding humans in the frame and keeping them in it by automatically tracking them. Whenever it does detect a human or any kind of movement, it automatically records a 10-second clip, which is stored on the cloud for up to 7 days for the user to review, after which it is automatically deleted. But cloud storage is limited to only that, as the camera cannot record footage and store it in the cloud, but it can do so on a microSD card. The camera supports a microSD card of up to 32 GB, which is far too limited for the 2K footage the camera can record. While the Mi 360 home security camera is certainly not perfect, it cannot record footage and store it in the cloud, it cannot detect humans well, it is overly sensitive with the movements that it can detect and supports very limited device storage, but the live feed it provides is sharp, the sensitivity of the motion detection can be controlled, and the app works well to control the camera. And it costs less than most of the smart security cameras it competes with, priced at 4,499 rupees. However, we can only recommend this to those users who do not need to access all the footage via cloud storage and only need a good quality live feed, precise control on the camera, and even more precise motion detection. For any other user, we will recommend paying more for the other options in the market.
That then was the Gadget 360 show for this week, but I have an absolutely incredible lineup for next week. Do join me on the show.